Plants clean the air in your house, right? It's something we've all heard. You buy a few plants, place them around your room, and suddenly your space feels healthier, fresher, almost like you've created your own little forest indoors. But what if I told you that this idea is only partially true, and in some ways completely misunderstood? Let's start from the beginning. Where did this belief even came from? A major source is a study conducted by NASA in 1989. The goal of the research wasn't actually to help people decorate their homes, it was about something much more extreme. How to clean air in completely sealed environments like space stations. In those conditions, there's no fresh air coming in, no open windows, no ventilation, so scientists tested whether plants could help remove harmful chemicals from the air. And the results? In those controlled, sealed chambers, plants were able to remove small amounts of certain pollutions. And that's where story began. But here's what got lost in translation. Your home is not a space station, not even close. In real life, air is constantly moving. You open door, you open windows. Air leaks through tiny gaps. Ventilation systems circulate air in and out. Compared to all of that, plants barely make a measurable difference. In fact, follow-up research suggested something surprising. To match the air cleaning power of proper ventilation or a standard air purifier, you would need hundreds of plants in a single room. Some estimates go even further, thousands. Just imagine that, a jungle inside your bedroom. So no, one snake plant in the corner is not secretly purifying your air. And neither is that cute little monster on your desk. But before you start questioning your entire plant collection, let's shift the perspective. Because plants are not useless, they're just misunderstood. Let's talk about what plants actually do. First, they change how a space feels. There's something called the biophilia effect. It's the idea that humans have a natural connection to nature. And when you bring plants into your environment, your brain responds. Stress levels go down, focus improves, your mood becomes more stable, so even if your air isn't dramatically cleaner, your mind feels better. Second, plants can slightly influence humidity. Through a process called transpiration, plants release water vapor into the air. This can make dry indoor environments feel more comfortable. Again, not a massive transformation, but enough to notice in certain conditions. Third, plants change your behavior. And this is something people rarely talk about. When you have plants, you tend to take better care of your space. You water them, you pay attention to light, temperature, and air. And that awareness often spreads to other habits. Cleaner spaces, better routines, more conscious living. So indirectly, plants can still lead to healthier environment. But here's the key takeaway. Plants are not air purifiers. At least not in any practical, measurable way for your home. So what actually improves indoor air quality? Let's break that down. Number one, ventilation. This is the most important factor. Opening windows, allowing fresh air to circulate, letting pollution escape. This has a massive impact, much bigger than any plant ever could. Number two, reducing sources of pollution. A lot of indoor pollution doesn't come from outside, it comes from inside your home. Cleaning products, furniture, paint, synthetic materials, even candles and air fresheners. Reducing these sources is far more effective than trying to fix the air afterward. Number three, air purifiers. These are designed specifically to remove particles and pollution from the air. They use filters that physically capture harmful substances. That's something plants simply cannot compete with. So why does the myth still exist? Why do so many people still believe that plants clean the air? Because it's a beautiful idea. It feels natural, it feels easy, it gives us a sense of control. Just add planets and everything gets better. And social media amplified it. Simple messages spread faster than complex truth. Plants clean air is easy to understand. Plants have a minimal, measurable impact compared to ventilation systems. Not so much. But here's where it gets interesting. Even though the claim is exaggerated, it still points us in the right direction. Plants cleaning the air is about reconnecting with nature. Modern life is incredibly disconnected. We spend most of our time indoors, surrounded by artificial materials, screens, and noise. Plants bring a small piece of nature back into the environment, and that alone has value. Think about it this way. Plants don't fix our air, they fix your relationship with your space. And maybe that's why people love them so much, not because they're powerful air filters, but because they make spaces feel alive. There's also another layer to this. Outdoor plants, trees, forests, entire ecosystems do play a huge role in air quality. They absorb carbon dioxide, they produce oxygen, they regulate the climate. So the idea that plants clean the air is not completely wrong, it's just misplaced. We've taken a large-scale environmental truth and applied it incorrectly to small indoor setting. And that's where the confusion comes from. So what should you actually do? Keep your plants, enjoy them, let them improve your mood and your space. But also open your windows, be mindful indoor pollutions, use proper ventilations, and if needed, invest in air purifier. Because the real solutions are usually a combination of small actions, not a single magical fix. And that's the biggest lesson here. Eco-friendly living isn't about quick hacks or aesthetic trends, it's about understanding systems, how things actually work, and making informed choices. So next time you hear someone say, "Plants clean your air," you can smile and say, "Not exactly. But they still make life better, and maybe that's enough." So now I'm curious, did you believe this before, or did you already know it's myth? Leave comment below what you think, and don't forget to subscribe, and see you in the next video. Bye!